The Janesville, Wisconsin General Motors plant closed April 23rd, 2009. Barack Hussein Obama, immaculated January 20-something, 2009. So the GM plant was announced to be closed in late 2008 when George W. Bush was still president, but it was open when Obama was president, and Obama said he was going to save it. He bought GM. He bailed out GM. He could have bought that factory as part of the deal. He chose not to. They got balsa wood to stand on here. They tried to make hay out of this, and they are having major problems. Here are the facts about this. Oh, by the way, everybody knows it, but I think it's official. Clint Eastwood is the mystery speaker in the 10 o'clock hour tonight. It's been confirmed. At least enough confirmation for me. It is Eastwood. And believe it or not, there's some Hollywood people wondering, I don't know how Eastwood's going to go over. You know, Republicans don't like Hollywood people. I'm thinking, wow. I really think... I don't, if they're that idiotic or that far out of it, but they so many cliches about conservatives and Republicans. And one of them is that we hate Hollywood and hate Hollywood people. And so Eastwood coming might not be all that helpful to Romney. There's some Hollywood types that are saying that in response to the rumor, when it was a rumor that it was going to be Eastwood. Eastwood's always been a libertarian. If anything, he's always been a Republican. He's always been Dirty Harry. He's always been the tough, no nonsense Western movie star. There's nothing wussy about Eastwood. Well, that you mean the Chrysler spot for the Super Bowl? Eastwood went out there and he said, "Well, I don't know. That wasn't a spot for Obama. I don't know what anybody's talking about." I was hoping, since I knew it wasn't me, I was hoping that the guest speaker was going to be George Obama, Obama's brother who lives in the hut. But I'm not disappointed. No, don't misunderstand. Eastwood's cool. Eastwood's fine. Gave me grief one year for not playing in the AT&T. Dinesh D'Souza already did that, passed the hat for George. George Obama needed $1,000 for medical treatment for himself or a member of his family. He called Dinesh D'Souza, and Dinesh gave him the money. And he said, "Why are you calling me?" He said, "Dinesh, you're the only guy I know." "Well, why don't you call your brother?" And the guy lives in the hut left. Well, of course he needs a kitchen. He lives in a hut. He doesn't have a kitchen. You ought to, have you seen this movie? Have you been to see 2016 yet? You ought to see the slum where Obama's brother lives. It's a hut, but it's a hut among many huts. It looks like a Quonset hut, corrugated steel. It's in a shanty town. It is abject, real poverty where the president's brother lived. Well, see, you can't distinguish Obama's brother's hut from the other huts. They're in like a warehouse of huts. It's like this giant, long warehouse with holes in it, aluminum siding. And you go in one door, and then the huts are subdivided inside there. It's a were hut. The interview with Obama's brother lives in a hut did not take place in the hut. They went away from the shanty town, from the slums. It's in Nairobi, Kenya, and they did the interview there. And I think they call it Obamaville. No, I'm making it up, but they should. They should. They should call it Obama. Anyway, here are the facts on a GM plant. February 13, 2008, Obama in Janesville. February 13, 2008. This is like 11 months before he's immaculated. I believe if our government's there to support you and give you the assistance you need to retool and make this transition, that this plant will be here for another 100 years. Well, he's implying that if I am there, if I'm the government, I'm going to support you. And I'm going to give you the assistance you need to retool and keep this place open for 100 years. That's what the people of Factory thought he meant. June 2008, General Motors announced Janesville would stop production and medium-duty trucks by the end of 2009 and stop production of large SUVs in 2010 or sooner. Any wonder why Obama let this place go? They're making cars he hates. Trucks and SUVs. In October of 2008, before the election, Obama said, as president, I will lead an effort to retool plants like the GM facility in Janesville so that we can build the fuel-efficient cars of tomorrow and create good-paying jobs in Wisconsin across America. So he promised in October 2008 that he would retool that plant, get rid of the trucks and the SUVs, and start making fuel-efficient cars of tomorrow, like the Volt. Then in December of 2008, General Motors idled production of SUVs at the Janesville plant. The truck manufacturing continued. So in December 2008, it's open. In April of 2009, 4 months after Obama was immaculated, GM shut down the production of the medium-sized trucks. April 2009, it's still open. January 31st, a week, 10 days after Obama's immaculated, it's open and producing trucks. He has promised them to keep it open, retool it to make whatever his efficiency cars are. In September 20... So Ryan is right. The point is Ryan's right. Ryan did not lie about anything. In September 2011, more than 2 years after Obama was immaculated, General Motors reiterated that Janesville is on a standby status. An automobile industry observer, David Cole, told the Milwaukee Journal it would be premature to say that the plant will never reopen. So it wasn't bulldozed. Manufacturing was ceased, but it was still there as a factory, perhaps to be reborn. Today, it has not been reborn. It has not been retooled. There are no fuel-efficient cars or SUVs or trucks being made at the plant. So Paul Ryan was dead on right. As right as anybody can be. Obama was going to save it with green technology. He was going to save it with green. He was going to turn it into a Cylindra. It just didn't happen. They're falling flat right on their faces, trying to say Ryan lied about this. This is another excerpt, and this is about Obamacare.
If everyone out of work stood in single file, that unemployment line would stretch the length of the entire American continent. You would think that any president, whatever his party, would make job creation and nothing else his first order of economic business. But this president didn't do that. Instead, we got a long, divisive, all-or-nothing attempt to put the federal government in charge of health care. Obamacare comes to more than 2,000 pages of rules, mandates, taxes, fees, and fines that have no place in a free country.
You know, I got the biggest kick. Ryan would utter a line that nobody liked, and they'd cut to the crowd. Boo! For some reason, it amused me when the crowd on schedule started booing. Here is the truth about Obama and the Medicare cuts.
The biggest, coldest power play of all in Obamacare came at the expense of the elderly. You see, even with all the hidden taxes to pay for the healthcare takeover, even with the new law and new taxes on nearly 1 million small businesses, the planners in Washington still didn't have enough money. They needed more. They needed hundreds of billions more. So they just took it all away from Medicare. $716 billion funneled out of Medicare by President Obama. The greatest threat to Medicare is Obamacare, and we're going to stop it.
There you go. There you go. That's you got to cheer this stuff. This was another truth being told, and he wasn't through talking about this.
My mom started a small business, and I've seen what it takes. Mom was 50 when my dad died. She got on a bus every weekday for years and rode 40 miles each morning to Madison. She earned a new degree and learned new skills to start her small business. It wasn't just a new livelihood. It was a new life. And it transformed my mom from a widow in grief to a small businesswoman whose happiness wasn't just in the past. Her work gave her hope. It made our family proud. And to this day, my mom is my role model.
And viewers could see a tear in his eye. It was at that moment. It was at that moment in the speech, for those watching, that women and undecideds were turned to Romney Ryan at that moment, among the women and undecideds watching. He still wasn't through. There's more. We got more when we get back.